Hey everybody, that dubstep music that you hear fading out right now means it's time for more Robot Wars. This installment, Dave Lacey taking Optimus Prime, and Mark Petro, TARS from Interstellar.
He's the rookie of the
He's
year.
the rookie, I would say.
But is he more than meets the eye, Mark?
Well, let's just wait a minute before we start getting into the debate on this debate show. So, again, how this works, you each get 2 minutes to make your opening arguments. Then after that, you'll get 1 minute worth of rebuttal. And then after that, you'll get an opportunity to make a closing statement. So I flipped a coin before either of you showed up, so you can't prove that I didn't. And Mark, you're going to go first.
All right. Yeah,
Time starts now.
All right, well, I'm going to say it right now, TARS is a better robot than Optimus Prime. First of all, TARS is a much more realistic portrayal of a robot. So, you know, there's fantasy, and then there's actual real, and TARS is more on the real, and Optimus is way on the fantasy side. TARS was actually made practically. He is a sort of a mixture of a puppet and an actual robot in the movie, whereas Optimus is just complete CG nonsense. Also, TARS is probably the most efficiently designed mechanical object in either movie. Adam Savage estimates that he has 7 mechanical components total, which makes him extremely easy to repair. In fact, even being sucked through a black hole, he was easily repaired in a very old house and brought back to life. He has a sense of humor. You can hang out with him on the porch and drink a beer, whereas Optimus will just destroy your barn if you attempt to do so with him. He's a Marine. That means he will never leave you behind. Semper Fi. As we know, the Navy gets the gravy. And Optimus, being a Army brat, would get the worms. TARS has the distinct honor of having killed Matt Damon. Spoiler alert. What that really translates to, which I think is very important, is he will identify coldly and calculatedly pointless plot points, meaningless dribble, and just murder the f*** out of them. He's also not afraid to pull the trigger. He's a gangster. And his intelligence programming is way more rational than Optimus's completely erratic behavior, his bizarre speech-giving. All right.
TARS is a gangster. And he also gets gravy?
Hilarious.
Okay, so TARS, the robot who you can have a beer with.
Yeah.
Against Optimus Prime, what is your argument? You have 2 minutes starting right now.
Fantastic. Well, you made some good points there, Mark, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, Optimus Prime is definitely the best robot. I have a little thing here I'd like to at least read to the audience here. Optimus is probably the most famous of the robots in this bracket. It's arguable, but I believe he might be. And there's a good reason why. He's brave. He's compassionate. He's inspiring. He's badass. And not only that, he's self-sacrificing when he needs to be. He's a great leader of robots and a friend to mankind. Listen, I could sit here and go through all the times he saved the planet or all the times he kicked Decepticon butt. I could do that. I'm not sure we have enough time. But what I am going to talk about is why Optimus Prime is a better robot than TARS. First off, Optimus has sentience. He makes all of his own decisions. Mark here said that he acts erratically. There's really nothing in all of the years that he's been leader of the Autobots that would make you really think he acted erratically. He might go on and on with speeches, but he's wise, and that's an important thing, and he saved the Autobots many times with his wisdom. On top of that, TARS is just programmed by humans. Humans, we all know, make mistakes. And not only that, but in Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey did not trust TARS because a robot of the same model as TARS messed up his test flight so many years ago. So we already know that model has issues. On top of that, Optimus leads a badass army of robots into battle, where TARS kind of just chilled on a ship for 23 years and then can do math. That's great, but I'm kind of thinking the battle thing's better. And you know, you talked about the fact that TARS is super realistic. I appreciate that. But I think I'd rather hang out with a super badass space robot that can kick ass and then like drive me around. Also, TARS did not get sucked in a black hole. He fell into the 5th dimension of the Tesseract, so he didn't really withstand the damage of a black hole.
Time. Already shifting gears into the rebuttal in your opening statement. That's a bold strategy choice, my friend. Optimus means that kicking ass is better than doing math. What do you say to that? Mark, starting now, you have 1 minute.
So here's my big problem is Optimus is the worst military strategist of all time. Like, you want to say he's a friend to humanity, that's complete utter bull. He regularly diverts military operations directly into major metropolises, which is plural for metropolises, right?
Thank you for clearing that up.
He's terrible at giving speeches. He's hard to understand. He's not as well written. His dialogue is terrible. And TARS did not mess up his spaceflight. In fact, TARS managed to save him. He was an upgraded model. So, Semper Fi again.
Okay, listen. Optimus Prime, is he the greatest strategic leader of all time? Maybe not, but at the end of the day, his heart is always in it. He has sacrificed himself so many times to save his own Autobots. He has run into waves of Decepticons and left his Autobots on the side because he wants to protect them. On top of that, also, he doesn't ever start fights in the middle of metropolitan areas. He goes where the Decepticons go because the Decepticons are always trying to mess up Earth. They're always trying to mess up Cybertron. He goes where they are. He has no choice. He doesn't pick the battle. They don't like flip a coin and go, let's fight in this metropolis. There's so many ways that Optimus is better. He is so much more impervious to damage than TARS could ever be. I mean, we saw Kip being blown up in Interstellar, TARS the exact same model. Optimus would brush that explosion off. That wouldn't even hurt him. And on top of that, also, TARS, he's just a subject of his programming. He could turn evil if you wanted to program him to be evil.
Time. The old program him to be evil.
right.
Closing argument, go.
So Optimus is obviously amazing, but I want you to just put nostalgia aside and ignore the fact that you grew up with him, and yes, it would be awesome to ride him, but look at TARS, look at what he's done, look what he has the ability to do, and really think about what it means to be a robot versus a marketing ploy to sell more toys.
Wow.
That's about
Wow.
it.
I'll let you guys decide if that was a low blow or not. Dave.
This really comes down to, this whole fight comes down to reality versus awesome. Yeah, maybe TARS is a robot we'll have someday, and that would be cool, because I think TARS is really cool. But you know what's actually cooler? A giant red and blue heroic space robot that comes down, saves the day, turns into a transforming truck that I can take a road trip with. That would be a lot of fun. Autobots, roll out!
All right. Not bad. Not bad on your attempt at the Optimus Prime voice.
Thank
A
you.
little more gravel, but
Thank you.
we'll fix that in post. Well, what do you guys think? We have Optimus v. TARS. We have, crazy badass truck road trip versus waxing poetic on a porch with a realistic science robot. So what do you guys think? There are 2 comments down below. One that says, like this comment if Optimus Prime wins, and one that says, like this comment if TARS wins.
Good argument.
No handshaking. No handshake.
Because that's what would happen if TARS and Optimus got together. It would do a face-off, and then TARS would be like, point grab the
Well, didn't we just decide that?
Didn't
we just decide that what happened when they would get together is Optimus Prime would blow him up? I thought that was your point.
No, Optimus protects life. Optimus would never hurt TARS.
No.
Okay.
If anything, TARS would
Unless, of
slide
course, they
into a
programmed
specific
TARS to
mount.
be evil.
Yes, if Megatron programmed him to be evil, then he'd have to fight him.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.